Hey guys, just want to welcome you back for another video, and today it's just going to be a quick update. One, I want to go over the latest collage book release by Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasures, as well as reminding you of some of the other things that she has put out earlier in the year. Also reminding you about the two collaboration books that we've put together, and then I've got a project I've been working on, but I'll do that last. I will spend the most time on Dawn's book because this is out now, and when I was doing the release day video, I forgot to grab my copies and talk about it there, so I wanted to make sure I did not forget to do that again. So like I said, I'm going to go over her book first. This is out. Everything came online yesterday, which was July 1st. This book is available in hardcover and paperback. There are a few more pages in the hard copy because she wanted to make sure that you didn't have to pick and choose what you wanted to do. Like if you love to do a lot of fussy cutting, you don't have to worry about that you're cutting in another image, because sometimes that's a downside as crafters when we get a really pretty pack of paper and then find out that it's double-sided, or we can only get it double-sided, and then it's the absolutely heart-wrenching decision of which side do you cut. I feel pretty sure a lot of paper crafters out there may be able to commiserate with that. So she wanted to eliminate that struggle for the hard copy. So as you can see, there's background page, which you can use as a background page, but you don't have to worry about it. If you love to do the fussy cutting and you want to tear into it, you, like I said, don't have to worry about cutting into another background page. She does have the complete collection for the Woodland Treasures, and she had put out a mini card making kit, I think two years ago, or maybe it was early last year. I can't remember now. But in any case, it does include copies of all of the background papers, and this was a really good idea as well. She put two images of each page back to back, so again, it's eliminating that need to choose between which one you want to cut into. So this way you are offered each background page individually. Trying to think best how to explain it, trying to remember what she was saying in her video. I think I got the gist of it, but I will link not only her channel on her website, but I will list her release day video where I believe she goes into more in-depth on that, but you can check the links down below, and it'll probably pop up at the end cards, where we give you some recommendations for other videos of ours if you want to watch, or recommendations to other videos. Again, not to go too far off on a tangent. So it's a really nice book. And that is the only difference for the paperback to the hard copy, is that she spread things out more, so you didn't have to worry about cutting into a side if you wanted to use both. But anyway, I think I probably beat that point to death. So I'm going to close this one because seriously, I could go off on a tangent because I love this book. It is so cute. And the only other thing of note is that the layout may be a little bit different. She is a big fan of maximizing how much you can cut into the book. So in this one, it's really heavy in the cut aparts, and they're in larger. They have larger sizes, the smaller ones. And again, she definitely loves maximizing as much space as she possibly can. So that is what is in here. So you got all the background pages, you got all the ephemera that you can cut out in different sizes. Yeah, it's just, I love these colors. I just want to start cutting into it. I haven't decided if I'm going to allow myself to cut into it. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I might buy a spare copy to cut into. I want to leave one of each of these whole, but that's a dilemma I'll get into later. So she did also include here the decoupage flowers that she had put together. You get a couple different types. You get two sets of the daffodils, and then you have the daffodils with the orange center. And again, you can cut these all out. She's got them labeled in order to know how to stack them if you use them as the decoupage image, you know, when you're cutting it out and adding embellishments to stuff. Yeah, I'm batting 1,000 here in English. But I am not starting over. I have a sip of coffee. It's decaf because it's too late in the day for regular, but I'm hoping it will trick my brain into thinking it's getting caffeine. So, once again, this is the absolutely gorgeous, very colorful, and very multi-purposed books by Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasures. And again, it comes in the hardcover and the paperback. And this is all up and active on Amazon if you want just the books. But if you want the books and the ephemeras and things like that, those you would have to get directly from her website. And she probably has bundle packages and stuff listed up there. So definitely recommend you go check her out, both for her channel for inspiration and her website for supplies and things like that that you can pick up. All right, so then the next thing, and I'm going to try to keep these in order. And I did get two of those because I did get one for cutting into and one for keeping. So I was good on that one. I was only able to get one each of these, so I will do the photocopy method. But this was the very first book that Dawn put out way back at the beginning of the year. And these are all the floral images that she has put together in her collections over the years. And she paired them with this really nice neutral background. And you may recognize it from, she has her fairies collection. Can't think of the full name. I'll have to look at it. But she had her fairies collection way back when. That was, I think that came out just before, just after the fantasy collage collection that we put out. I can't remember now, but you will remember this was one of her favorite images. And what she did is she just left out the fairy, but she brought in the other part of it to create the background. So again, giving you the option where you don't have to cut into the pages. Each page is a standalone cut apart for you to do all your fussy cutting and stuff like that. So that was her first release. So much fun. Oh man. I still can remember just so giddy when she was finally able to get it going, and has not stopped since, as you can see with all the collections and things that she's been coming out with. So this is all leaves, this is all flowers, and again, this was the very first release that came out. I am not sure what is still available on her website. You would have to check that. Hopefully you were one of the lucky, if it has sold out, hopefully you were able to get a hold of one. Because again, just absolute love the colors. So there's that one. So the next two collections or collage books that came out, and I cannot remember specifically which order, if this one came next or this one, but they were pretty close to each other. And or maybe she might have put them out at the same time, but I can't remember. But in any case, so this one contains all the critters, all the background papers, and everything for the Cutesy Treasures collection that came out a couple years ago. And again, she was very similar, making sure that you didn't have to pick and choose what you were going to cut into. She made everything really nice, that if you want to do the fussy cutting, you got the option of having a background page that you don't have to cut into and all of that. So love the colors. I really am impressed with all the books that have been coming out at how nice the color has been reproduced in the books. That's like huge. So that is the Cutesy Treasures. And then here's a whole bunch of her prior collections. And you'll probably recognize a lot of them. This was her autumn collection. I want to say it was Autumn Spice. I don't think it was Autumn Treasures. And then she had her, when she did her alcohol inks, she turned them into really bright, colorful backgrounds. And I actually had a lot of fun making a rainbow card with leftover strips of each of the colors in this collection. So very fun. Well, all of her stuff is fun. I mean, come on. And again, there's some other floral cut aparts and things like that in here that came out with these prior collections and things like that. So I believe this is Bright Treasures. It's sort of a play on the Vintage Treasures. I believe this came out with or shortly thereafter with the Vintage Treasures, which was Vintage English. Vintage Treasures was her very first release way back in, I believe it was 22. So as of this year, so it's 22 to 23. So she is 4.5 years in, if I'm doing the math right. And oh my God, the fun just does not stop. So in any case, this was, I think, one of her second collections that came out. But I think just personally for nostalgia, I think the Vintage Treasures will always be my absolute very favorite because it was her very first one and it was so fun to finally have a way to really help support her, not only for her channel, but also for getting started in the craft business and celebrating just how talented she really is. And, you know, she really is a really big inspiration. I'm going to take a minute to go off on a soapbox just because she has really been a blessing as a friend, as an inspiring content creator. And if you have not checked out her channel, I definitely recommend that you do so because she's just an amazing person. And she is who she says she is. She is who she presents herself as. That's the one thing I think I realized about her way back in the very beginning. It was during COVID, I found her website and it was a how many cards video. So, of course, those to this day are probably my very top videos. Like, if I couldn't watch anything else, they said you had to pick one of her video styles. Which one would it be? It would definitely be the how many cards because that is what I found way back in the beginning. And to now be able to call myself friend is even more of a blessing than all the inspiration she was giving before we had met online and became friends and stuff like that. So it means a lot. It means more than I can say here because if I really keep going, I'm going to get all weepy and then I can't talk, and that's just silly. So a lot of times when I'm having emotional moments, I try not to get into it if I don't think I can control myself, because I cry at a drop of a hat. So I'm really knuckling down. But Dawn, honestly, it is so much more than just a fun adventure hanging out with you when we meet up on Sundays and get together and run amok creating stuff or just BSing and cracking up over whatever it is that's going on. I am really happy to call you part of my core crew. And yeah, you are amazing. And I cannot wait, however much we can or can't do. I know you got your stuff you got to take care of in the background. That's the priority, but I'm for the ride, whether we're just sitting and drooling in our coffee or making stuff or whatever it may be. You are amazing. And to everybody, honestly, if you have not found her channel, please go subscribe, support. She's got the two channels. I will link both of them. And then I really am going to back off of this because I really am going to want to start crying. So I'm going to stop. So these are her two books. And again, these three were all prior to the release of the Woodland Treasures, but I started here because it's out right now. And I didn't want to let that go to the wayside because it was active as of yesterday. So there is that. And again, I do have the two copies, one to savor, one to cut. And you can see how far I've allowed myself to get. But hey, it's a stash busting summer. I've been breaking all kinds of ground and barriers that I've not wanted to get into. So I'm forcing myself to cut it into the books. And while it still hurts quite a bit, It is fun, I will say. So, okay. Then the two creations that came out in collaborations, and again, there is more stuff going on in the background, but as and when that comes out, it's to be determined because she has a lot of stuff going on, probably a lot more than I do at the moment. And I'm still working on rehabilitating my right hand after I fell and broke my wrist. Because, of course, I had to find the most obscure bone and slowest healing bone in my wrist that I possibly could. So, in any case, I don't want to wax off onto that. I am in physical therapy, it is going good. And I'm hoping to be able to ditch even the brace by the time we get to the end of the summer. However, I am taking advantage of not being able to work this summer and get caught up on stash busting and things like that. So we have a lot of things, like I said, in the background, but there are more things that we're working on together for collaboration. So just as we can put things out, we will definitely let you know. But we have these two fantabulous books that we put out this year to give you loads and loads of fun and the bundles and the ephemera and all the other goodies that go with it. So first one was, of course, the Fantasy Collage Collection. This is out, and I am trying to practice and learn how to get it into the hardcover. Um, and I did a trial run in getting this set up, so this is good to go now. It is available in paperback and hardcover. These two types are available on Amazon, but again, if you want the book and the ephemera, it's the paperback book is what we have in stock for both of these. I don't know what is left on her website, but the digital copy is always available. And again, there's also bundle packages and things that you can get. But I don't want to get too far again off on a tangent. I'm doing pretty good. It's 20 minutes. I'm doing really good in terms of my time. So again, I don't want to go too much into the book, but just a refresher that the Fantasy Collage Collection is available, and it is also now available in the hardcover. I'm still working out to see if we're going to be able to do this one in hardcover. So if and when that is possible, she and I will both let you know. But yeah. So again, colors are just amazing. So much fun. Yeah, we just laugh like hyenas when we get together. It's amazing we get any work done. Well, me anyway. She's usually really good at getting more stuff done while we're chatting. So that was collaboration number one. I do have the soft copy, but I forgot to grab it. But at this point, I think most of you have probably seen it. And then this was collaboration number two. This came out back on June 7th. And again, the colors, just so much fun. And we are profoundly grateful that our styles mesh really well. And the way we think and the way we process our stuff is really also very similar. So that also helped in being able to work together to put the collaboration. So we have different strengths, and like where one drops off, maybe the other picks up, and vice versa. It's like this infinite loop, and it is just hilarious, and we love it. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna get all emotional again, so I'm gonna shut up. But Dawn, I love you. I do not say to shut up because I don't love you. So anyway, the hard copy will have a slightly different layout if we can get it going. But I know a lot of what we do in laying out the pages is based in how we have to do the pages into uploading into the Amazon system. So that's where this thing may be different from that version and so on and so forth. Just a little bit of background, but all the images are here. It's all the same that's available in the digital copy. It's just that the layout is different. Some pages were combined onto one sheet, or, like this image was flipped to give you another option on this page and all of that. So again, the goal is to maximize the space and what's available to you to cover as many different craft methods as possible. So junk journaling, card making, mixed media, tag making, you name it. If you can think of it, you can do it. And again, like Dawn says with her stuff, and we say with our stuff, if you purchase the book and you have the ability to make photocopies of the page for your use to keep you from having to cut into the actual book, please do that so you end up not getting forced to have to buy another book. So we also are big fans of being economical in what we're doing. So that was the creation that we put together for, or the collaboration, I should say, that we put together came out in June. And then this one is available. I am working on getting the author's copies. So the physical books are not currently live on my website because it takes a lot longer to get the author's copies than it would be for me to let you know that these are now available on Amazon, and you can get it in the hard copy or hardcover as well as the paperback. The hardcover is slightly smaller than the paperback, and this was chosen because it cuts down on the cost. So the way the images are spaced or appear on the page are going to be slightly different than what's in the larger format, but all the images are there. And I pulled from 3 different paper collections. One you would have already seen came out, I believe, on April 20th. I had a delay in putting it out because that was right after I fell and they had to get me into the cast. So I had to get that all squared away before I could get that up and running on the 20th, but it was that time frame. So again, the Elegant Ladies, I don't think I said the name of that out loud. But this one is the collection that came out back in April. And then these are 2 that are currently active now, as well as the combined collage book. This collection here with more graphic style art, and I know I am using that word loosely. This collection is called Wallflowers. And again, just absolutely in love with colors. Color, color, color. And then the 3rd collection in the book, you've probably seen me use different images and different projects heavily in art journaling, I think is where I used them the most. But as I was getting the collection put together, in the background, I was coming in and doing little projects, which of course now they would be, I guess, sneak peeks if you think about it. But this collection here with the faces, and you have some fashion theme in there. I love the black and white as well. I love pairing the black and white to color. So this one is called Models of Humanity, and I do have ephemera and stuff like that. I am working on adding additional items to the collection, but what I currently have available is listed up on the website. And again, the books, if you just want the book, the hardcover, I keep calling it hard copy, the hardcover and the paperback are both available. I don't have a delivery time as of yet. The paperback ones are coming first, and I believe there's going to be a little bit longer wait on the hardcover. But again, rather than having you sit and wait for me to get them in my shop right now, they are available on Amazon. So if you want the book, you can hop over there and order it, and it'll get sent directly to you. So these are the things that have been done all the way up to date for Dawn's stuff, our stuff, and this collection from my stuff. And everything will be linked from Dawn's website, Dawn's channels, my website, and all of that. They'll be listed in the description. So, all right, I did pretty good. I'm at 26 minutes. Really quickly, I have been doing a lot of dusting and cleaning. I know I still have some more work to do on the website, but I've got a lot more streamlined. If you're looking for the collaboration items on my website, I have a tab that's strictly to take you right to the shiny creations. I have a page where I will be adding in freebies, and the current offerings are there right now. I did do, because it's the 250th anniversary or birthday for the US, I did patriotic colored papers, but I know there are a great many other flags around the world that use the same colors. So the one is kind of ish like a flag, but the other two are a little bit more generic and just celebrating the colors. So that way, if you get the freebie download, you can apply those colors to your flag if you guys have those colors in your flag as well. So I don't know off the top of my head how many flags, but I know there's quite a few that have some variation of red, white, and blue. So I didn't want to be that it's just the colors for here because so many other people have them. I wanted it to be a group celebration. So that again is on the freebies tab. And I believe that selection that's in that one download, I'm just going to keep that up there for now until, I don't know, wherever, maybe till my website falls apart. I don't know, but I will be adding in additional freebies and things like that to tack on. I just needed to get that page set up. So that's where I hadn't really done a lot of freebies to this point because I wanted to get in and figure out how to make a separate page if that's all you're looking for is, you know, your budget doesn't allow you to purchase anything right now, then having the freebie tab now allows you to go directly to things that you know that you can get and download for free. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting a lot of things going in the background. So stay tuned. Things will get adjusted and added and cleaned up and all that on the website. But definitely up and running, and everything that I have available will be up and listed. So, all right, I'm going to let it go there because now we're almost at a half an hour. And I know there's a chunky bit here and there that I am going to have to edit out. So I'm going to shut up and go do that. And as always, you guys, please take care, stay safe. I am as much blessed to be in this community as I am having Dawn added to my, I mean, it's more than a good friend. I think of it as the sisterhood. So fun place to be, but the community here is absolutely amazing. And I know I don't say a lot, just because I have to try to keep my time streamlined and also the danger of going off on a massive tangent. I have to be really careful when I'm speaking in the videos. Part of it is the ADD, I am quite sure, of staying focused or forgetting half of what I'm saying or whatever combination it may be. But just know that every time, all the time, I am here with you. I have deep love and respect for all the creators. There's so many talented people in this community. I am one of many. Hopefully, what I'm learning is showing. And I am equally blessed to be here as it is, like I said, to have Dawn part of my sisterhood. And thank you guys for taking this wacky, crazy ride with me. And I look forward to more and more and more in the future. So, with big love, you guys, take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. If you're interested in some more content, here's a couple videos you might want to check out, and I will catch up with you in the next one.